Hello and welcome back, everybody, to a new live stream. So it is Friday, the 31st of May, and yeah, it is actually the last day of May. So, of course, next month is going to be a new month. So, we have a new monthly candle, meaning we have a new monthly level, and we may possibly also have a new monthly naked point of control as well. So, of course, coming into a new month, even coming into a new week, even coming into a new day, right? We need to be aware of new levels that are going to appear in the markets. Okay, that of course we want to look for because we understand that those are levels that we are interested in trading, right? I trade naked point of controls a lot of the time. I trade monthly levels a lot of the time. Okay, so we need to, of course, be aware of them, look out for them, and yeah, see what the likely levels are to be as this new month does, occur tomorrow. So, of course, we're going to be going over all of the analysis, taking a look at trades that I'm in, trades that I'm looking to take, trades that I have been in and I am now out of. We will talk about all of that, of course. If you have any questions, yeah, don't be afraid to put them in the chat. I will be happy to answer them if I can answer them, of course. Yeah, I guess yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps me out, really helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring these live streams to you as well. I just need to know that you are enjoying them, so make sure you smash that thumbs up. If you're new, make sure that you do subscribe. And yeah, we will jump straight on into the analysis. So yeah, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I am short on the price of Bitcoin as of right now. Now, I previously was much more short on the price of Bitcoin, but yeah, I did de-risk myself just a little bit. In one of my larger short trades that I was in. Why is my mouse going all funny? There we go. We are back. So yeah, I was short from the range high up here. And, in the previous live stream that I did for you guys yesterday, okay, I was talking about a short trade from up here. Again, I was hoping to get this short trade on live stream, but we didn't get it. It was taking too much time, and we did initially get a pullback for a few hours before we then initially did get the rise. But I took the short from up here, and of course I told the team on the Visionary Discord, as I always do when I entered into the short trade. So as you can see here, very clearly I stated to the team yesterday at 8:42 p.m. that I took the short. Okay, simply took the short there. There was the setup that I took, and of course I will go through why I entered into the short trade. Of course, I explained to the team here why I entered the short trade. But yeah, here I go on to say I've set limit TPs at the mid-range and the range low. So yeah, this looks very messy because I was also in a long trade at this time as well, from the range low all the way down, yeah, from back here. And of course, that long trade I gave the team in the Visionary Discord, but I also entered into that trade live on stream pretty much, and yeah, I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, for this short, as you can see, TP1 tapped perfectly. Okay, as you can see, we came down to the mid range. We always take profits here at Bit Trading at the mid range because we understand that the mid range can act as really nice support. And yeah, I will show you that. I will show you that as well. So as you can see here, realized profit was $372. That was a really nice trade. And of course, unrealized. This on the left here was the unrealized profit. So yeah, move the stop loss to entry. As you can see here, my stop loss was at entry at around $68,680. And then here you go. And that's why you take a TP1 at mid-range, okay? Because the mid-range acted as perfect support. We got a bounce, okay? And that short trade did initially get stopped out at entry, okay? Meaning that I did not lose any capital, any money on this trade because I took a TP1 at mid-range, moved that stop loss to entry, okay? So from that trade, I took $372 pure profit, okay? So that was a really, really nice trade there. And then we did get, yeah, like I said, a rise towards the upside where we actually came to the VWAP, okay? And if you are a regular watcher of this channel, you will know that this VWAP from 72,000 has acted as such strong support. We got a perfect rejection off of that, as you can see there. And yeah, explaining to the team here. And then I went on to say, initially I did get stopped out of my larger trade after taking a TP1 and moving the stop loss to entry. So this was a very profitable trade. But I also, this is what I like to do a lot of the time as well. I like to, have two trades open, one on one account, one on another account, of course. And I said here, I also took a short on a smaller account of mine, which I didn't move the stop loss to entry on. So for this short, I'm still targeting range low. So I am still currently short. I like to do this a lot of the time where I'm actually in two of the same trades on different accounts. One of them will be a much larger position, and then one of them will be a bit of a smaller position. Because I do like to move my stop loss to entry a lot of the time, and I will only mainly do that on my larger account where the risk, of course, is a little bit higher. So on my smaller account, I don't tend to do that. And even if I didn't move my stop loss to entry on this trade and we did get stopped out, it would have been a break-even trade anyway. But I wanted to just lock in that profit and ensure that I was not going to turn this winning trade into a losing trade on my larger account. And then on my smaller account, as you can see here, I am still currently in a short trade on that. So yeah, as you can see, and like I was telling the team, my next TP for that will be range low, right? Simple range trading. I can see a comment here, Rednet. Good to see new faces. Cool stream, bro. Tuning in from New Jersey, USA. Good to see new faces and good to see people from all across the world as well. I know that we have Reddy as well from India. Rednet, good to see you tuning in from America. I have been to America actually a few times. I have been to America a few times. I do really enjoy it, and I do need to get myself back there. I don't believe I've ever been to New Jersey though. I don't think I've ever been to New Jersey. I feel like I know where New Jersey. Let me know where New Jersey is. I feel like I know where it is. I've been to all around Florida. I did we hired a camper van and we did like a little tour of the Florida Keys, and then I went to New York. I've been to New York quite a lot, but I don't believe I've ever been to New Jersey. Hi AJ, again and again. Good to see you back, Mo. It's good to see you back. Hope everything is good. I am all good. Okay, New Jersey. Next, I did think it was. I didn't want to say it and sound stupid. It's next to New York. Okay, I did have a slight feeling, but yeah, Mo. Good to see you back here. Yeah, it's not part of New York. Yeah, good to see you back here, Mo. I am well. I hope you are all good as well. Mo, I'm not actually. I can't remember if you told me where you were from. To be honest with you, let me know where you're from as well. But yeah, getting back to the charts, right? Very, very simple, right? If we zoom out, okay, and you look at this, and a lot of traders would have done this, okay? They would have zoomed out and said, this week has been very, very boring, right? There's been no trades to have this week. However, for me, all I do, right, is I zoom in, okay, and I take a look and I can see this is perfect price action to be trading. Okay. All I've been doing this week is trading the range until the range breaks. And it's been very, very profitable. Okay. Very profitable. So the prior to this short trade, okay, I was in this long trade, and this long trade, I think was this one as well. Both of these long trades I pretty much entered on the stream, right? So this one here I entered into just before I went live. So if we take a look at the live stream, when I entered into that one, so that was here, right? This was on the 28th of May. I literally entered into the live stream 2 minutes before I went live. And we took that, of course, all the way up to range high, as you can see here. Okay, so we took that trade all the way up to range high. That was a really profitable trade. We can take a look at that on the Discord as well. Let's see. Where did we enter that? Here, going to continue to trade the range until it breaks. Okay, there you go. There was the long that I took there. And yeah, this was a really profitable trade as well. Came up to mid-range. Got a pull again. We got a pullback at mid-range, as you can see here, and then we came all the way up to range high, where I did take profit on that trade. So as you can see here, $878 in a profit on that trade. So that was a really, really profitable trade. Stop loss was at entry, as I always do. After especially taking a TP2, I always move the stop loss to entry. But yeah, again, as I always do, I left a little bit in the trade just to see if I could squeeze a little bit more out of the trade if we did get a range break. We didn't get that, and of course now this long trade has been stopped out because we've come all the way back down to entry, making stopping us out of the trade. And again, this was a very profitable trade, so there was no reason to complain there. Let's go back to the other one as well. So we also had this long trade here as well. Where was it? Oh no, this one. Okay, so this one was entered on live stream. Okay, where was this one? It wasn't that trade there. Let's take a look. So this one was also. Was it from here? That was 2 days ago. That was the 28th, so it was before that, wasn't it? Or am I getting confused? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we took that trade as well. That was, here again, right? We came up to range high on this one, all the way up to range high. And I took some really nice profits on that trade as well. And I was in another long trade prior to that as well. So that was this long trade here that I entered into. And initially, right, I was targeting VWAP at around $69,230 for a TP1, and then TP2 at $70,700. But yeah, this is, I talked about this a lot in some of the previous live streams, where you have to learn to become like a profitable trader. You need to learn to adapt to the market and not try and expect the market to adapt to you. And in this instant, I adapted to the market. I understood, right, that we came up to range high here and we started to look bearish. Okay. I didn't enter into a short trade here because, this was at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4, 4:30, 5, 5:30 in the morning. Okay. When this trade was presented to me. Okay. So, of course, I was asleep. And then I woke up at 7 o'clock and I noticed, right, okay, I've missed the short trade here, unfortunately. But it gave me a good opportunity to close some of the long trades that I was in, because I understood, right, okay, I was targeting VWAP up here as a TP1 and a TP2 at $70,700. However, price is starting to form range bound price action. We're looking bearish up here. Okay, so I took a lot of profit off of those trades, and I understood, right, the highest probability move now is a move all the way down to range low. So there, I won't go into detail like I was in the previous live streams, but there is a perfect example of how I have adjusted to the markets. Okay, I'm not expected the markets to adjust to me. Okay, I adjusted to the market. I understood price is looking bearish here. It's looking like it wants to start to range trade. So I take some profits, even though it wasn't my original take profit. Okay, I understood, right, okay, let's take profit here. And that was the right thing to do, right? Okay, took some really, really nice profits off of these trades, as you can see. I think I actually added to this trade though. But yeah, $4,143 in a profit there, $752 in a profit there. So this range has been very, very profitable. I know that if you zoom out, okay, this price action has looked very, very boring. Okay, it's just been low volatility, range bound. Okay, and in this instant, what you need to do is you need to zoom in. Okay, and there are perfect trade setups, and even some that I didn't take, like this one here, right? Because I was asleep, I didn't manage to get that short trade, but I would have taken that short trade because there was actually a really nice failed auction of that high there, and we were looking bearish because we had lots of longs at the highs, okay, which initially after forming that failed auction were trapped longs. What do trap longs have to do? Well, they have to cover themselves by selling back into the market. So that's adding fuel to the fire and pushing that price lower. And that's exactly why I entered into this this short trade right here. Okay, we'll go through the Discord and we can just look through why I have entered into this trade, right? So let's go to where I entered into the trade. We can see it down here, isn't it? A little bit lower. So here, there was the short that I took. Okay, and then I told the team here, millions of longs at the high are now underwater as we formed a failed auction of range high. The expectation now is that the longs from the high will cover, meaning that they will sell into the market, initially adding fuel to the fire and pushing price lower. Okay, so that was a big reason why I entered into the short off of the failed auction. But if we scroll up a little bit more, you can see here I'm saying 21 million new long positions are opening here. You can very clearly see it here. Hopefully you can see it anyway. I know it's a little bit blurry on my screen, so it might be even more blurry on your screen. But yeah, we had open interest increasing, we had price rising, we had 21 million positive delta and 53 million on the volume. Okay, so this was very bullish. Okay, this was looking very bullish. We had 21 million new longs coming into the market. However, price started to pull back. We formed the failed auction, meaning that these 21 million long positions, that's a lot of long positions, right? 21 million long positions at the highs here, okay, are all underwater, okay, and they're getting shit scared right now, okay, they're getting shit scared, okay. So what they have to do is they have to cover by selling into the market, okay, exactly what I was saying here, adding fuel to the fire and pushing that price lower. And as you can see, that's exactly what's happened, right? It's pushed the price lower all the way down to range low, okay? And this is just like a perfect example on how order flow is just so powerful, okay? This tool right here is so powerful. It may look daunting, at the beginning, but once you understand it, it is a very, very, very powerful tool, okay? Very powerful tool. And this really, really helped me in entering into this trade here. Okay, really helped me entering into this trade. And you can see how profitable this trade has been, how successful this trade has been, right? And all it is down to is order flow, because I understood that there was 21 million long positions at the highs here, okay, who were now all underwater after forming the failed auction, okay? So the expectation is they're going to cover, meaning they're going to sell into the market, adding fuel to the fire and pushing that price much, much lower. Very, very simple. Okay, but very, very effective. Do you consider those? Do you consider those longs offside when the 30-minute candle closes under them? Do you consider the longs off? I've never called it offside. Of course, there's always many different terminologies for different things. Offside, is that when you mean that they're? Wait, let me. Do you consider these longs offside when 30-minute candles close under them? Yeah, let me know what you mean by offside. Or do you mean underwater with it? So basically what it is, just to give you an explanation, let's go into the candle here. So this was it right here. We zoom in, okay? We can see 21 million long positions, okay, open up in this candle. This is how amazing order flow is, okay, footprint software is. This is how amazing. We can see 21 million longs opening up in this candle right here, okay, at you know, at this candle. And then we can actually zoom in even more and we can see where the longs were coming in, okay, within the candle, okay? So you can see 115K here, 1 million there, 2.3, half a million there, 1.2, 3K there, almost 9K there, 3.4 million there, 1.9 million there, 4.1 million there, 2.9 million there, 5.2 million there, 4.2 million there, 3.3 million there, 2 million there, 1 million there, 2 million there, 300K at the high. Okay, trapped, sorry. Offside trap, yeah. Okay, sorry, yeah. So I understand that when price is below, okay, even below 69,025, which is the low of the candle, okay, the low of the candle here, anything below that, okay, these longs up here are underwater, okay? You can clearly see where the longs have entered, right, in this candle. Below this low of the candle, okay, anywhere below there, so all here, okay, all here, these are trapped longs, okay, because they're at the high, okay, and they're now underwater, okay. So yeah, how you said it there, offside, right? Yeah, here they're all offside. All of these longs, okay, when price is below $69,025, they are all underwater. And as price continues to go, of course, you don't want to just short if price breaks the low of that candle. That's not enough confirmation, especially for me anyway. I am an aggressive trader, but I'm not that aggressive, right? Because I understand that, yes, long trades can be underwater for a little bit, but then price can rise. The confirmation for me was actually the failed auction. The failed auction for me back into the range, okay, is an aggressive entry. Of course, the second entry would have actually been this one here, where we actually got, this is like proof of acceptance into the range because you've back tested it and then you've rejected off of it. So that's proof of acceptance into a range. And then you get the move towards the downside. You can see the same thing here, right? We formed a swing failure pattern of the low and yeah, kind of initially you get acceptance into the range here anyway because it's just a simple swing failure pattern, but here you've got confirmation because you back tested it as support, then you get the move. Okay, so that's like yeah, I've entered aggressively here because sometimes you don't actually get the back test, so I like to enter aggressively, but the more conservative entry would have been here for the long, and that was a long trade in itself because you formed another swing failure of the low of the range low. But yeah, initially, right, that was the confirmation. I like to enter aggressively, so I entered off of the simple failed auction. And as you can see, that's worked out really, really well. So yeah, order flow is amazing because you can just see where the longs are coming in, okay? Like you can see where the shorts are coming in as well. So yeah, anything under $69,025, I understood all of these longs were, you can't call them trapped yet unless you form the failed auction. Okay, but they were all underwater. And then once we formed the failed auction, I understood, okay, these are now trapped longs. And, going off of how like retail traders play off of emotion and trade off of emotion, I understand, right? Okay, the highest probability move here is down because I understand that all of these longs up here are very emotional because they're underwater, they're biting their nails, they're rocking back and forth in their chair. They're underwater, really scared. They're scared longs, they're trapped longs. And the expectation is they're going to cover, meaning that they can sell back into the market and push the price lower. Because they have to sell to get out. Yeah, exactly there. Now, again, I don't use just footprint software and order flow to enter my trades. I do also use the basics, okay? Horizontal lines. Here is a horizontal range, and I waited for the failed auction. So I had, of course, so I had 3 bits of confluence for this trade. So a huge bit of confluence, of course, was the order flow with 21 million trap longs. The second part of it was the VWAP, right? We formed a failed auction of the VWAP, and we'll talk about that VWAP in a second. And then the third bit of confluence was the failed auction of the range high. So I had 3 bits of confluence. That's an A-star setup. That's at the top of my tier list, whatever you want to call it, the top of my ranking list on my, in the trades that I take. That is at the top because there's 3 bits of confluence. I also take trades off of 2 bits of confluence, but they're not as high probability. It doesn't mean that the probabilities are low. It just means that the probabilities are high, but not as high as a trade that would have 3 bits of confluence, right? But yeah, talking about this VWAP, we can zoom out, okay, and we can look at how. Zoom out. 8 hours, a bit too far. Let's go to the 2 hour. Okay, we can see how well respected this anchored VWAP has been ever since 72,000, right? You can see resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, rejections off them each time, all along here as well. Resistance, okay? Then we got the deviation above it, but we still respected it. Even though we got a deviation above it, we still respected it because we back tested it as support there and then got the move lower. Okay, again here, right, we deviated from it, okay, but we formed a failed auction of it, okay, or a fake out, whatever you want to call it. Then we pulled back tested it again, perfect resistance, bang, down we go to range low. Okay, this is just a well-respected VWAP, not perfect, okay, and again, you can never, ever look at, this goes for like EMAs as well, okay, and SMAs. You can never look at them as like a perfect resistance. You have to understand, okay, price is probably going to deviate from it a little bit. We can fake out of it. And that's still valid. For me, that's still resistance, okay? Even though we deviated from it here, we broke above it, okay, and acceptance back below, that's still resistance for me there because, we formed a fake out of it. So this VWAP has been really, really amazing for me. Ever since 72,000, it has helped me enter into a fair few trades, right, including this one right here, this short trade right here. So, yeah, VWAPs are just amazing, 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 amazing. I don't tend to use EMAs. I understand that they are valid, but I like to use volume. I much prefer to use something to do with volume rather than just an average of price action, because what EMAs are is just price action which has been set to an average, okay, set to an average, right? And the VWAP is the exact same, but it includes volume as well, and I love to trade volume, exactly like here, right? I love to trade, the actual orders that are coming in, and I like to trade volume as well. So yeah, for me, the VWAP is much, much more powerful than any EMA or SMA that you can look at. So this is why I do love to use the VWAP. Failed auction, price gets back into the range. Yeah, pretty much. It can be any level really. But yeah, this was just a simple failed auction of the range where we get back in. Now, initially, the textbook, you're looking for a failed auction, retest, rejection. I'm a bit more of an aggressive trader. It works for me, and that's how I like to trade, because I like to get a good entry. So yeah, here I was aggressive. I could have waited, but all through here, I would have thought to myself, "Oh, I've missed the trade here." But then here, we get a retest, we get the rejection, and then there, would have been like your second entry there. But yeah, you can see that I got a better entry than that one there. So yeah, for me, I like to be a little bit more aggressive. I know it's only a few $100, but I'm more of an aggressive trader, and sometimes the rejection can be very hard and very quick, meaning that you don't get a good entry whatsoever. But yeah, initially a failed auction is literally like a break above and then acceptance back into the range. I use this all of the time. Germany, you forgot. Oh yes, sorry, Mo. Yes, yeah, because I told you the story of. Yeah, I remember now. Sorry. Yeah, because I told you the story. I used to live on the Kirkrade. I used to live on the border of Germany. Yeah, that was a few years ago now. But yeah, I lived on the border of Germany for seven years, I think. I don't speak the language. I did go to international school. So yeah, it was just an English speaking school. But yeah, I lived there for 7 years. I learned a little bit of Dutch, but I was never really too interested in it. But yeah, sorry, I remember now because yeah, that's funny. So yeah, I guess patience now, right, to range low, really. Again, we can front run this level as well. So we'll see how this plays out. But I am interested, and this is what I'm going to be saying to the team as well on the Discord. Right, I'm interested in longs from the range low. I'm very interested in longs from the range low. I do understand that it's Friday. We're coming into the weekend. Volatility drops off on the weekend. So if I do enter into a long trade, I will enter with a little bit lower capital. But I'm literally going to trade this range until it breaks. Okay, I'm going to look for a long here. If I see the long, I will take the long, and I will look for trades. I would look to take that trade to mid range. I'll look to take that trade to range high. Right, very simple, but very effective. Okay. Du- 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 du. Could you show the order flow of today's entry at the VWAP? Yes, yeah. I think we will break range low today. Yeah, for me, I don't like to predict things like that, of course, because I don't know. I'll openly admit this and be 100% transparent. I don't know where price is going to go. I understand here, that the highest probability move is down. Okay, I don't know that price is going to go down. I just know that the highest probability move is down. Okay, coming down here, I don't know if we're going to go and bounce off of this level or if we're going to break below this level. I don't know. All I'm going to do, okay, is set an alert at this level. Once my alert goes off, I will come and sit at my computer and I will just analyze the markets. If I see the long setup, then I will take it and I will look for higher prices. If I don't see the long setup, okay, exactly like this trade here. I didn't see the short trade setup when we first initially hit the level. Okay, then we got a continuation higher, and I was telling the team here, 21 million new longs opened. Okay, this was in my eyes here. This was very bullish. Okay, I wasn't interested in shorting this. 21 million new longs opening. That's very bullish. However, right, things changed very quickly. We formed a failed auction. All of these 21 million longs that had opened up at the high were trapped. So I understood the highest probability move was down, right? So in that instant, I didn't think that price was going to go down as we were rising here. I didn't expect it until we formed the failed auction. And then I was like, okay, we're going down here. We've got 21 million trap longs up here. They're going to have to cover. They're going to have to sell into the market. So we're most probably going down. So yeah, it's all about waiting for the level and then analyzing the level in the time. But yeah, just going back to what Rednet said, we'll have a look at the order flow. I'm guessing you mean here. I'm guessing you mean at that VWAP there. So yeah, that could have been a nice trade, right? We'll have to analyze the order flow, but you've got VWAP, you've got range high. You didn't have bearish CVD. Let's have a look at the CVD. I don't believe you had bearish CVD. Let me just refresh it so I know it's all up to scratch. No, you didn't have bearish CVD. So yeah, we'll look into the analysis, but yeah, CVD was ticking down, so we didn't have bearish CVD there. You've got 3.9 million longs coming in here. You've got stacked long imbalances, and then here you've got short imbalances, so you know that the shorts are overwhelming the longs here. So initially that in itself, where you have longs opening here, long imbalances, and then in the next candle, okay, you can see that now shorts are overwhelming the longs because here the longs were overwhelming or overpowering the short trades. And then in the next candle, we can see that shorts were overpowering the long trades, right? So initially, right, that's confluence. You've got the VWAP, you've got the range height. Personally, for me, I wouldn't have entered into this. I prefer this than this, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have entered into this. It's hard to say. It's hard to say if I would have entered into that or not, because it's easy to say that I would have, but again, I'm trying to be, like, really transparent with you. It's hard to say if I would have entered into that. It's hard to say, but I can very clearly say, even if I didn't enter into the trade here, even if I didn't enter into that trade, I could look back and I could say, okay, that was an easy trade. I would have taken it. This one here is a little bit harder to say, just a little bit harder to say. But initially, it is a valid entry. Whether I would have taken it, I don't actually know. But yeah, this here, I can look back and say, well, first of all, I can say I have taken it. And second of all, I can say that I would have taken it even if I didn't take it. But yeah, initially on the order flow, it was looking at, yeah, it's not screaming bearishness at me. It isn't screaming bearishness at me, but yeah, it is showing signs of bearishness. Duh, 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 duh. Mo, I think we will break range low today. What's this one? Monthly closing, don't forget it. Yeah, let's take a look at that as well. And we'll also take a look at yeah, we had no new daily naked point of control. Weekly naked point of control will be on Sunday evening, and then we have monthly. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Monthly close. So yeah, let's take a. My mouse is really playing up here. What's going on? All right, let's go to the monthly. Right. So we will have a new monthly level as well. So have I marked that in? Yeah, I have. Let's just get rid of that for a sec. That's a tapped monthly. So we've got a monthly. Yeah, we've got a new monthly. We know price is not going to dump. I mean, anything could happen, right? But yeah, price is probably not going to dump from $67,300 all the way down to, yeah, $60,000. It's possible. I don't see it happening though. But yeah, we have a monthly level at $60,637. So yeah, that's a level that I would be interested in trading initially. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing too much to be aware of at the end of this month, to be honest with you. Other than that monthly level, and then of course another really important level is a possible monthly naked point of control. Now, at this moment in time, the current month POC is at $67,850. Of course, that can change, right? Because the month hasn't ended yet, so that can change, obviously. But yeah, tonight at midnight, we will find out what price this naked point of control will be at. We are literally just below it. Okay, so it's not really a key level if we sort of close at the level, right? If we sort of close at the POC, because it's then very easy for price to just take out that naked point of control, and then it's just not an important level, right? Then we're looking for the next month naked point of control. So yeah, we'll have to see how, of course, if we continue to dump over the course of today, we get a little bit further away from that POC, which would then be a naked point of control, then it's a little bit more important. But if we sort of close at the POC, it's importance is a lot less. Okay. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. We do have a monthly POC a monthly naked point of control at 51,750. I do have that marked on the chart. We're very far away from that. So yeah, that's all the way down there. Yeah, so that's not really of any importance as of yet. Of course, it's an important level, but as of now, sorry, it's not an important level. So let's see. So yeah, just sort of like analyzing the order flow right now. This move towards the downside has been a pretty rubbish move towards the downside. It's been a pretty weak move towards the downside. So, as I say quite a lot of the time, if it's a weak move towards the downside, um, there is high conviction for a long trade down here. There's high conviction for a long trade because of this weak move towards the downside. And we know that this is a weak move towards the downside before even looking at order flow. Before even looking at the open interest, sorry. If say we got rid of the open interest, I would know that this is a weak move towards the downside anyway, because I understand that 21 million longs here are covering, right? They're just selling into the market. So it's not new longs coming into the market. It's no, sorry, new shorts coming into the market. It's these longs up here selling into the market. But yeah, then order flow really helps and can really show you. We started up here, okay, when we were in those longs, okay, or when those longs were opening, sorry. And then you can see here, after all of those longs have sold off, right, open interest is all the way back down here at 1.01 billion, okay, where we started all the way up here at, what was it, like 1.06 billion. So, a difference of 5 million, right? So, again, just patience, right? Range low. And then there, I can look for a long trade, right? I'm gonna trade this range until it breaks. That's literally all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna trade the range until it breaks. If I see the long setup here, I will take the long trade. Mo thinks that we will get a range break towards the downside. We'll have to see. Hey, we'll have to see. It is a possibility, right? It is, very much a possibility that we do get a range break towards the downside. And on this range break towards the downside, if it occurs, what we would like to see is price break below it, maybe back test it, okay, and reject off of it. That's one thing that we kind of want to see. Another thing that we want to see, and sort of the key thing that we want to see, is we want to see lots of volume, lots of negative delta, and open interest increasing, telling us that this is a good move towards the downside. This is a strong move towards the downside, and it's probably going to continue. Okay, that's what we want to see. If we don't see that, right, if we see high negative delta, high volume on the break towards the downside with open interest decreasing, and then in the next candle we see negative delta tapering off, we see volume tapering off, then that gives us a bit of a reason to be looking for a long trade and thinking, right, okay, if we form a swing failure pattern, or if we form a failed auction of the range low, then we can look for a long trade up to mid-range, of course, as a TP1, and then range high here. Again, simply trading the range until it breaks. That's what I've been doing all week. Okay, I've taken, how many trades have I actually taken this week? I think it's 4 trades. I think that was a previous range, 60. Yeah, that was that range that I didn't short that. I shorted that there. Okay, so that's a little bit far back. So yeah, so this was the first trade I took of the week. That was the week before. So yeah, this was the first trade I took of the week. That was a profitable trade. Second trade of the week there. We know that was a profitable trade. Third trade of the week. But yeah, 4 trades of the week because I added to the long trade. I added to this long trade here. That one there. Of course, I did that on live stream. So yeah, 4 trades of the week. All 4 of those trades have been profitable trades. So it's been a very, very good week here. A very good week. Of course, that's not the case all the time. Okay, that's not the case. I do take losses here and there. I don't want to, say that I'm a 100% profitable trader, even though I've had a 100% success rate this week doesn't mean that it's like that every week. I will admit, I don't think though I've had a losing week in quite a long time, like quite a long time. Um, I do take losses. I can find a perfect example here. I took a hedged short. So this was off the back of a long trade here. Okay. That was a really profitable long trade, $1,500 in a profit there. Realized, unrealized was 1,600. Then I took a hedged short trade here. That hedged short trade was stopped. Okay, as you can see here, I did get stopped out of that hedge short, and then all I did was took that long trade higher. Okay, so yeah, $3,000 in a profit after taking some more TPs there, and then I took a short trade there, which yeah, as you can see, was a nice profitable short trade as well. So yeah, I do take losses here and now. I can't, you know. Oh, we're coming down to range low here. I can't lie, we do take losses here and there. That's all part of the game. Open interest is good for the strength then. Yeah, open interest it shows the strength of the move, right? And if you don't have exo charts, you don't want to pay for exo charts, you can just come over here to coinalyze.net, and this is just completely free. You can also get the CVD on there as well. That's completely free. You get all the ads, which is a bit annoying, but you can pay to get it off. But again, if you don't want to pay for anything, this is good. Of course, you don't get all of the order flow, but yeah, it gives you a lot of good information. If you haven't already as well, please make sure you smash that like button. And here we are at range low. So let's just. Oh, I'm going to take another TP on this short actually. There we go. Right. Okay. I guess I can look for a long trade here now. We'll see. We will see, right? Let's just quickly update the team here. So yeah, we still have 28 minutes left. I'll look at order flow in a second. Right, that's range low. Range low has been taken. Yeah, so I have now closed the majority of that short trade as well that I still have open. It's not as big of a short trade as this one was here. Okay, it's not as big as a short trade. Like I said at the start, I like to have a bigger account with, like sort of like my main account with the bigger trades on, and then I usually have a smaller account with a little bit smaller capital. But yeah, let's take a look at order flow here. Let's see what's going on. So initially open interest is still decreasing slightly here. What we can also see as well, and this is like a prime example of it, is here. You can see negative delta is increasing on the way down. So you've got minus 3.6, minus 3.5, minus 10, minus 14 million. You can see volume is like increasing as well. 15 million, 33 million, 33 million, 56 million. Okay, open interest is decreasing, which of course isn't good. But now what you're seeing, now we're at range low. Okay, we can see range low here. Now what we can see is negative delta has tapered off, right? You've got 3.8 million positive delta. Okay, you've got 40 sorry, 400,000 positive delta as well. Here, of course, you've got minus 6.6. Sorry, minus 6.5. It's just changed. Minus 6.5. Negative delta. You got 14 million volume here, but initially, right, it's tapered off from where we were back here, right? We're tapering off, okay, which is initially a bullish sign. Really, it is a bullish sign. So now we want to see swing failure pattern, failed auction of range low, and I can look for that long trade. Of course, if we get a break of the range low, then we're looking at this more of a possible failed auction, okay, where we get a break below and then acceptance back into it. We can look at that. Or the other alternative is, shorts start to open interest starts to increase. So we can actually say, okay, maybe this is actually an acceptable break towards the downside. So yeah, we don't take the short trade and we look for lower prices. So yeah, we've still got 24 minutes. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, if you haven't already, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. Just plug my computer in quick. I'm just thinking. Order flow is cool. People that only look at TradingView have no clue sales are tapering off. Exactly. Yeah. I see. I see a lot of. Because I enjoy watching, like trading content, right? I enjoy watching it, but I also enjoy watching trading content of people who are just completely oblivious to how trading actually works as well. Like a big strategy that I see a lot of people use is this ICT strategy. Okay. And initially, right, the ICT strategy is stuff that I would use. Okay. It is stuff that I would use. But again, right, all they look at is TradingView. Okay. That's all they look at. If they used like this ICT setup, I've never used it. I don't understand. They look for stuff that I don't really, I don't really know. But they initially, like, they're looking for liquidity sweeps. I know, I understand that that's one of the things that they look for. But if they literally just applied footprint, okay, open interest, footprint, CVD, if they applied this, okay, they would increase their profitability massively, because I understand that this ICT strategy has been proven to be completely useless. And I've seen that this ICT guy has been proven that he's just absolutely terrible at what he does. And to be honest with you, like, what the things that he incorporates into his strategies, they're not actually. They're some of the things are the things that I actually use, such as liquidity sweeps. They are very, very powerful tools, but he just doesn't use them with the right confluence. Okay, if he used them with things like order flow, open interest, stuff like that, it would be so much better. It's profitability. I'm not going to comment on if he's a profitable trader or not, because I don't know. I don't know the person. I don't follow him. I don't watch any of his stuff. But all I understand is if you use this and looked at real market orders, okay, anyone who doesn't look at real market orders, I struggle to believe that they actually make money in the markets. I don't want to seem like an asshole saying this, but it is true, right? I went through this where I didn't use order flow, I didn't use open interest, I didn't use any of these tools here, and I just kept on losing and losing and losing. I was at that stage at one point, right? I was in that position where I wasn't a profitable trader. I was losing money day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. I was just losing and losing and losing until I started to use order flow and I started to really understand it. That's when things like clicked for me. Okay, this is why the market moves. Okay, the market doesn't really move because of trend lines, or doesn't really move because of EMAs. It's not how it works, right? It's about orders that are coming into the market and orders that are leaving the market as well. Okay, and of course, whales as well, big, large institutions that have big, large buy limit orders or sell limit orders. Those are the real important things that you can't see on TradingView. You have to use something else. So yeah, going back to, I do like to watch a lot of like trading content, and I can very, very quickly understand if someone is an actual true trader. There's this girl that I've seen float about everywhere. This Tory Trades, I think her name is, and she claims that all she does is trend line trading, and all she uses is trend lines, nothing else other than trend lines. Come on, I've been there. I've been there. It didn't work. It ended very badly for me. So yeah, it's just, yeah. I feel as though I'm just like a perfect example of trying all of the stuff that just does not work, and then I've actually found something that works, and it's just amazing. It costs money. I understand that. It costs money to have software like this, but there's a reason why it costs money, because it works. It's good. Volume is king. Yeah, exactly. Order flow is king. Everything to do with this is king. Volume is king. Open interest is king. CVD is king. Footprint bars are king. Order flow in general is king. Without this, I wouldn't make the profit that I've been making, especially this week as well. Because I've used order flow to help me enter into these trades a lot of the time this week. It's not even just like the footprint, right? It's not even just the footprint or the open interest. The CVD is very important as well. So remember the trade that I entered into. Where were we? So this was Tuesday. This was the start of the week. This trade here. Okay. This trade was entered off of CVD, right? What was the date of that? 28th of May. Where were we here? What was the time? 9:29. See where price is breaking down here. Actually, well, let me have a quick look. I'll go back to that in a sec. Open interest is increasing here, so okay, new longs are coming in on this break towards the downside. Yeah, minus 15 million. Sorry, longs. Why am I saying longs? Shorts. Minus 16 million now. Shorts are coming in here. Yeah, so I'll just remember to keep monitoring that, right? So Yeah, so you can see here CVD, right? So of course you've got your low from here, you've got your range bound price action here, then you've got your higher low here. And on the CVD, we can see, right, there was more aggressive shorting happening here than there was here because CVD is ticking towards the downside. Okay, CVD is very clearly ticking towards the downside here. And this tells us that, yeah, shorts, there's more shorts opening up here than there was here. However, price is remaining bullish in its higher low structure. Okay, so there's a large player here absorbing all of the selling pressure here. You know, for example, there's another one here, right? You can see price is forming higher lows, CVD is forming lower lows. Okay, there is large buy limit orders here that are absorbing all of the shorts. Okay, initially you're expecting a rise towards the upside, and that's exactly what happened here. Yeah, that's exactly what happened here as well. Not to the extent I was expecting it to, but initially it did still rise. Okay, remember, structure kind of changed here. We started to range trade. It was a very slow and boring week. So yeah, CVD is something that you have to be aware of as well. It can really help you enter into trades. I use CVD to enter into many trades, especially the GP786 strategy with the MPOCs. So yeah, still lots of shorts coming in here. So I am not interested in longing this whatsoever. Maybe maybe Mo will be right. Maybe we will get a range break towards the downside. But remember, right, just because we get a break of the range low doesn't mean this is a confirmed break of the range. Okay, remember what happened up here that I shorted. Okay, we got a range break towards the upside, failed auction, then we came down. Okay, we could see the same thing here. If we don't see, a strong move towards the downside, we could see a failed auction, right? Look for a long trade, look for higher prices, okay? How far can you look back and the CVD div is still valid? How far can you look back? I mean, there's an invalidation, of course, of it, right? So let's go to this example. This is a nice example. There's an invalidation of the CVD, of course. So if price here, okay, ignoring all of that price action there, okay, or ignoring this rise towards the upside, if price continued to pull back, okay, so we're looking at it here, we can see, okay, CVD is clearly bearish, but price is bullish. So we know that there is a big player absorbing all the shorts here. But say price, because it does happen sometimes, right? Price continues a bit lower, comes down to the low here and breaks the low. That's the invalidation for that CVD divergence. Now, in terms of like how far back you can look, yeah, I stick to looking at CVD divergences, kind of anything below the 8 hour. Anything above that is valid, right? It's still valid. We could probably, even on the 8 hour, like you can see a CVD divergence here. Okay, very clear. Like there is a big player here absorbing it. But what you have to understand is when you're zooming out and looking at the bigger time frames, right? This is again experience. This is again having really good knowledge and a really good understanding of this, okay, an understanding on how the markets work as well. If you're zooming out to the 8 hour chart, you can see, there's a big a number of big buy limit orders here that are absorbing all of the shorts, okay, but price could still break this low. And what you have to understand is we are on a bigger time frame here, okay, so these big whales that are entering into a long trade here, okay, they're not thinking about opening this long trade for a day, 2 days, a week, right? Big players that are entering into long trades here are looking at this in a 6-month period. Okay, they're looking at this, entering into this trade here, and they're thinking, right, okay, we're having this trade open for 6 months. We're having this trade open for a year, maybe even longer as well. So when you get onto the bigger time frames, they can't. They're still valid. Okay, I understand that they're still valid, but what you have to understand is that these big players, okay, they're looking at this trade as being open for like 6 months. They want to have this trade open for 6 months to a year. Okay, so they don't really care if price continues to pull back a little bit. Okay, because of course they have their own risk management strategy. But yeah, they're not really too worried about it, and there's more of a light. There's it's a little bit more difficult, let's say, to enter into a trade here, because your invalidation is going to be so deep as well. Now, yeah, going back to sorry, I think I swayed away from it. Going back to like how far you can, yeah, you can. I don't think there's really a. Again, it's all experience. Like for me, I would never look at this CVD divergence here and trade it. Okay, this is on the 6 hour. I'd never look at this massive CVD divergence and ever trade it. I look at this on like a lower time frame. The 1 hour, the 2 hour, maybe the 4 hour. At the maximum, 30 minutes probably the best. 30 minute, the 1 hour is probably the best. But yeah, on the on the 30 minute or the 1 hour, you can zoom out. You can let's find an example here. Yeah, for me, it's like that's a little bit too far back. Yes, we have a big CVD divergence here. So I'd say this right here is a little bit too far back to go. You want to see something clear. You want to see something obvious. You want to see something simple. Okay, don't overcomplicate things for yourself. I know we're using advanced technical analysis here. Okay, but again, you don't want to overcomplicate it. You just want to look. This is simple, right? This is simple. I myself am more of like a intraday swing trader. Okay, so I will look at CVD divergences on the 30 minute, and these are the perfect CVD divergences that I want to look at, right? These ones here, this one here that I was looking at, okay? Ooh, what have I done? So this one here that I was looking at, this one's valid. I look at this because you also, when you're looking at CVD divergences, you also have to understand market context as well. This is a big thing, okay? And what you want to really see with a CVD divergence is, for example, we're looking at the bearish one, okay? And this applies for the bullish one, just in the vice versa, okay? Price pulls back, okay? You form the low, you get a bit of consolidation, then price pulls back again, forming a higher low, okay? That's basically the context that you want to see, okay? You want to see a low, bit of consolidation, whether that's a long bit of consolidation like this or a shorter bit of consolidation like this here. This is acceptable consolidation there for another higher low. Okay, so I guess for me it's just experience as well. How for me this is a valid one. I liked it at the time. The best one is this one here. Okay, that CVD divergence. But if you're zooming out like this and looking at it, that's a little bit too absurd. Yeah, that there is a little bit too absurd. So of course you've got a low here, you've got your higher low here, CVD's ticking towards the down. That's absurd. Okay, that's too much. That's not valid. So for me, to go back to your question, that right there is a perfect example of when a CVD divergence is too far gone. It's too far back. It's too much. Unless like you're looking at it as a more of a longer term trade. If you're looking at this as a big swing trade, right? You're expecting this trade to stay open for 6 months, for a year, then okay, maybe you can zoom out to the 8 hour. Okay, maybe you can zoom out to the 8 hour and maybe you can, trade these. Of course, you want to look for your horizontal levels, but this is for much, much larger time frame swing traders who are looking to open a trade and keep it open for 6 months, okay, and are expecting price to rise. Okay, say you're entering into a long here, expecting price to rise over a 6-month period. But for me, I don't ever look at CVD divergences on the 8, the 6. Sometimes I look at it on the 4, to be honest with you. I look at it on the 2, the 1, and the 30-minute, the 15-minute as well. Maybe the 5-minute if I'm trying to scalp trade. But the main I'm looking at it on the 30-minute, the 1 hour. It's got to be obvious, right? It's got to be obvious. It's got to be clear. Okay, you can't just zoom out like this. And yeah, of course, it's a CVD divergence, but for me, it's these ones here on the smaller. Looking at it, the tighter they are, kind of the nicer they are, because you get, you have your horizontal levels as well. You use this in confluence with your horizontal levels, right? Your naked point of controls, your GP786 levels. You can't do it on a range low unless it's like a special occasion where, maybe you've got a low here and you're not counting that low as the range. I guess that's a really advanced understanding of it. But you're looking for these ones. You're looking for your horizontal levels, of course, for your confluence, and any other, VWAP for confluence as well. And then you're entering on those horizontal levels while seeing these divergences as well. But yeah, nothing absurd, right? Just keep it simple, because as this gives you enough information as it is, but don't overcomplicate it, because if you overcomplicate this and even if you overuse it, okay, like for example, zooming out and looking at, this is that's overusing it, right? That's expecting too much from it, okay? This isn't perfect, right? Order flow isn't perfect, but it gives you a very, very strong hand, okay? A very strong hand. Yeah, extremely powerful tool. It shows you where the bigger players are at, okay? Maybe I didn't mention, I think I must have. I think I did at the start. But yeah, basically with a CVD divergence, just to put it very simply, as price pulls back here, okay, you can see CVD is of course ticking towards the downside. So, we're getting aggressive shorting here. Okay, price starts to range. We get another pullback here. CVD is making a lower low, right? This is called a bullish divergence because price is forming a higher low. And what this tells us is that there's more aggressive shorting happening here than there was here. However, price is looking bullish in its bullish market structure with higher lows, meaning that there is a large limit buy order or a series of large limit buy orders here absorbing all of the shorting. The expectation from there is you get a rise towards the upside. So it is a very, very powerful tool. But yeah, you can't, like with anything, you can't overuse the tool. If you overuse it and you don't look for the right confluence, okay, then that's when it becomes useless. Okay, you have to use it in correlation with other powerful tools as well. So yeah, that is it. But it's very powerful when you use it right. It's like anything, okay? If you use it right, it works. Okay, if you don't use it right, that's when it doesn't work. So yeah, let's see what's going on here. Open interest is still increasing right ever so slightly. No real sign of whether we're going to get a range break towards the downside or if this is going to be a fake out. To be honest, I have no confirmation yet. I do understand that if we do fail auction this, I'm going to probably long this because we have 19 million new shorts coming in this candle. We've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Of course, if you want access to, because of course, the majority of the trades that I take, I put on the Discord. So if you want access to this Discord, first link in the description, it will take you over to this page here where you can get access to the Discord, the XO chart templates that I have, that I use, and then of course the education as well. Now I'm very close to finishing the XO chart series. So yeah, it's literally explaining and going over all of this. And then after that has come out, I then have, which I've been working on as well, I have the strategies. So what I've done, or what I'm doing at the moment, is I'm laying out every strategy that I have, okay, from A star or top of the ranking list, whatever you want to call it, to still very profitable, highly profitable trade setups, but just like not A-star setups, right? So I'm literally going through all of the strategies that I have, and I'm going to do a relaxed, you know, I can't even count how many there are because there's so many different ways that I enter into trades. But yeah, I'm going to do more of a relaxed series where I literally talk you through trades that uh, I've taken prior and go into great detail and not just show you one example or two examples. I will show you a number of examples of me entering into these trades using the exact strategy. Okay, there are tons of different ways that I enter into trades. Like I couldn't even name how I couldn't even put a number on it, how many, different trades. One of the trades, okay, for example, here we've got a range high, we have a VWAP, okay, we have millions of longs opening up, okay. I take trades like that all of the time. Here, simple swing failure pattern, trap shorts at the low, take those trades all the time, in confluence with a range low, take those trades all the time. Okay, for example, we had that there. We had another one here, exactly the same setup. We had range low, swing failure pattern of that. And we had trap shorts at the low. Okay, then we had another one there. Okay, so that was 3 of the same setup. This wasn't the same as these 3 trades here. Okay, this one here wasn't the same as these 3 trades here. This one wasn't the same as this one here. Okay, even though they seem the same because it's a failed auction of range high, but this one was a failed auction of range high with a failed auction of the VWAP. Okay, this one was just a failed auction of range high, failed auction of the high at range high, okay, with longs at the high. Okay, they're very different. This is a more high probability trade setup than this one is, okay, because there's 3 bits of confluence on this trade. There's only 2 bits of confluence on this trade. So I will enter with a higher capital on this trade than I would on this trade here. There's just so many. So yeah, just here, maybe they look the same. Okay, maybe these trade setups look the same, but there are 3 different strategies in these 1, 2, 3, 4. In these 4 trades that I've taken, there are 3 strategies. Okay, so yeah, there are many. You can combine so many different technical analysis tools. Of course, only the powerful ones, but they are all very powerful when you put them together. They're powerful on their own, but when you put them together, they are just extremely powerful. And yeah, the probabilities just literally go through the roof. Of course, they're not 100%. Okay, they're never going to be 100%. Okay, but they can give you a real solid 80% win rate. Okay, and sometimes 90%, sometimes 100%. Okay, this week, all right. I don't want to seem like a knobhead or like I'm gloating or anything, but this strategy has been a 100% success rate. Okay, I haven't taken a losing trade this week. Okay, take a look at the Discord, right? Any of the visionary members will know. Okay, every single trade that I've taken this week has been a profitable trade. Okay, I'm not saying that is something that happens week in, week out. Of course, it's never the case. Okay, very rarely. I say very rarely. It's happened a few times this year already where I've had a 100% success rate over the course of a week. But it doesn't happen all of the time. It doesn't happen all of the time. But it just gives you such powerful trade entries. It's just like I love it so much. I just have such a passion for it. It's just it's just I love it so much. I just can't. I love talking about it. I love just trading it. It's just amazing. Nothing is 100%. Only bad traders talk about high winning rates. Yeah, exactly. And I'm never going to sit here and tell you that I have a 100% success rate. It's not realistic. I can sit here and say I have a high win rate, but it's not 100%. I should probably go back because what I do is I journal, okay, but my journaling for trades is this Discord. Going back to where I started, this Discord that I started originally. I don't know if this was the original one actually. I might have had another one prior to it. I'd have to scroll all the way to the top, which is going to take it's going to take ages. But originally, I didn't have. I liked to journal my trades, and I recommend this for yourself as well. Don't journal your trade in a journal. Journal your trade in a Discord. I quite like to do. I quite like to do that, and that's what I actually started on, journaling my trade in a Discord, because I could just literally write all of my feelings down. Not that anymore I kind of have, I don't have any feelings in the market anymore. But back then I understand I had feelings. I was talking about, how I felt in the trade, how I felt about entering into the trade, at the end of the trade, how I felt about it as well. So yeah, for me, this is just literally a journal. I can scroll back and I can just look at, a previous trade entry that I've entered into. And, it may be if I'm lacking confidence, which, I wouldn't say I lack the confidence to enter into a trade anymore, but say I ever did lack the confidence to enter into a trade, I can scroll back, I can look at previous trades that maybe are similar, maybe are exactly the same. And I can understand, okay, I saw that there. I'm seeing that here. I can take the trade, right? Because that will fill me with confidence. So yeah, this Discord for me is kind of just like a journal, but I also see it as like an educational thing for anybody who wants to join as well, because they can understand why I'm entering into trades, what I'm expecting off of those trades as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I like to journal. I used to journal on what's it called, Excel spreadsheets, but yeah, I hated inputting all of the things. I found that annoying. I much prefer just typing it out on a Discord. It was just so much easier. But yeah, getting back to the charts after ranting, let's go back to the charts. 18 million. Okay, so this candle closed with 18 million shorts at the low here. Now this is not really giving us much information at this moment in time. Okay, of course we've got a range break towards the downside with 18 million shorts opening up. So you can look at this and say to yourself, okay, right, we're breaking down. We have, shorts opening. We have nice volume. Okay, so there's a possibility that we could go lower. But as a trader, I understand we could form a failed auction. If we form a failed auction, then what do we have? Okay, simple. 18 million shorts trapped at the low. Okay, and it's the exact same. Well, I wouldn't say the exact same setup, but a very similar setup to here. Okay, because remember there we had the VWAP. Here I don't. Let me just pull a VWAP. I doubt. Before I pull a VWAP, let's actually we're nowhere near the monthly VWAP now. Weekly VWAP, we're below that. Session, not important at this moment in time. Let's just pull a VWAP here. Yeah, as I expected, it's not really. No. Right, no VWAP for Confluence, okay? So it's not the exact same setup as we saw up here. But again, right, so we have 18 million shorts at the low here, okay? They're not trapped yet, but if we form the failed auction, okay, then they become trapped. Then they become trapped here, okay? Then they're underwater. Then the expectation is that they have to cover, okay, and pushing that price higher. Again, going back to simple range trading, okay? Simple range trading. I'm using my trackpad here because my mouse is going a little bit funny. Maybe I can reset it. Let's see if that works. I don't know what it is. Is it my mouse pad? I just need to get a new mouse. That's what it is. I just need to get a new mouse. That's all it is. Those 18 million will act as support for your long. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, right? Exactly like up here, okay? The 21 million longs acted as my resistance for the short. It's funny, really. It is, but this is where I love to just go back to myself 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, even 3 years ago, when I was like first getting into trading. I would have probably have longed this here. Okay, I would have been looking at this as a parallel channel. I would have looked at this here. We're breaking out. Okay, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have been a retail trader that would have longed the breakout here. I would have been one of those 21 million longs there. Okay, and now I'm looking at that, okay, and thinking that's not the long to be taken. The long to be taken was down here. Now we're supposed to be looking for short trades. Okay, yeah, I love to do that. Like look back and think like when I enter into these trades, okay, I think to myself as well. I do it a lot where I'm like, 2 years ago I would have longed this when I shorted. It's yeah. I look back at it now, and I kind of just laugh at it, but then I also understand that a lot of traders don't really have the full understanding of how the markets work, and I do feel bad because I do feel bad for people who are longing up here. Of course, it's their own decision to enter into a long trade up there. Okay, so I shouldn't really feel bad for them, but I just know that how I know how I was 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Okay. And I know that I would have longed this as well. And I know that I would have lost a lot of money on this. Okay. And, I would have got really emotional and really frustrated about that. It's just like, I want to feel bad for them, but at the same time, it's like, they need to grasp a good understanding of how markets work. Come on, like, think about it logically, right? Institutions are not looking at triangle patterns. Institutions are not looking at breakouts of triangles, breakouts of head and shoulders patterns. Okay, they're not looking at that. They're looking at bid ask. They're looking at real market data. They're looking at what is actually going on in the markets. They're looking at things like order flow. Okay, maybe they're not looking at exo charts that I'm looking at. Maybe they have a completely different system that they're looking at. Okay, of course you have Atos, you have Quantower, you have exo charts, whatever other ones are there. Yeah, too many to name. I can't even think of any now. But there are loads of There's loads of software like this. There's loads of it. Okay, Trading Lights. That's another one that I used. No, one of my trading buddies actually uses. So yeah, he uses that. There are loads. There are loads out there. So maybe they're not using exo charts, but they all give the same information. Okay, they all give pretty much the same information. They all give the exact same information if you're looking at it on the right index. Okay, so yeah, they need to study. Yeah, exactly. They need to study. And like I don't want to say that I don't acknowledge triangle patterns. I don't acknowledge head and shoulders patterns. I acknowledge them, but I don't trade them. I ignore like. With let's just go to an example here. So this was the previous range that I was trading back here. Do I even have it still up? I know. Don't shout at me. I know my object tree is messy. I know. I need to clear it up. I always find myself clearing it up though, and then it gets messy the next day. Yeah, so here. This was the previous, so you can see there was a short trade that I took in there. There was a long trade that I took in there as well. So that was the long trade that I took from down there. What else we got? We got the long trade from there. So yeah, this just going back in time, right? This was another range that I was trading. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so yeah, this was the previous range that I was trading on the 8 hour. I just want to see what price is doing before I get too involved. Okay, so yeah, this was the previous range that I was trading here. And right, talking about triangles, okay, it's not that I don't ignore triangles. I fully understand triangles, okay? I fully get it, okay? I fully get it. I fully understand that I need to be aware of triangles. I am not oblivious to a triangle pattern. I was looking at this as a triangle pattern here, okay? But this takes me back, right? This takes me back to 2 years ago, to 3 years ago, where I would have longed this break towards the upside, right? I would have longed this break here. okay, and I would have expected price to rise, okay, but that's not what happened, okay. That's not what happened. In fact, today, well, not specifically today, okay, but back here on the 8th of April, I shorted. I didn't long, I shorted, okay, because what I was acknowledging, okay, is that we had a failed auction, a swing failure pattern of this high here, okay. We had lots of longs opening up here as well. And of course, those longs were underwater. We formed the swing failure pattern. Now the anticipation is we're going to pull back, okay, even if it is just to the support, previous resistance, now support at the top of the triangle, okay. But I'm expecting price to pull back initially and potentially actually form a fake out of the triangle, which it did. Okay, and then we saw lower prices here, and I took advantage of that move towards the downside there. Okay, because I didn't long the breakout, I actually kind of shorted it, right? Of course, I didn't short the breakout. I shorted off of a swing failure pattern, trap longs at the high, okay, and then anticipating a fake out of the triangle. That's how I trade triangles. Okay, that's how I trade triangles now. Like I was saying, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have long the breakout here. I fully know that I would have long the breakout there. So yeah, I acknowledge triangle patterns. I do. I do. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't acknowledge them and I don't understand them. And I'm not going to sit here and say that you shouldn't look at triangle patterns. I think that you should look at triangle patterns, but not to trade them, just to be aware of them. Okay. So, learning about triangle patterns, it's not, it's not stupid, right? It's not the wrong decision to be, where's my range gone here? Is it that one? Yeah, it's not, you're not stupid for looking at triangles, okay? For me, okay, I don't want to call anyone stupid, okay? But for me, it was stupid of me to trade triangles, okay? So, yeah, that's how I see it, right? I acknowledge triangles, I acknowledge head and shoulders patterns, but I don't trade them, right? Usually I tend to already be in a trade or I'm counter trading it, okay? That's how I look at the patterns. And, everybody that is looking at triangle patterns and just looking at triangle patterns, it doesn't mean to say that they are wrong, okay? Because, as an experienced trader like myself, I still look at triangle patterns. I still understand that I need to be aware of triangle patterns, but I just don't look at them in the same way as people that are just getting into trading look at triangle patterns. I understand that to be an advanced trader, you have to have a good understanding of triangle patterns, but again, you don't trade them. That's how I see it. For me, look back 2-3 years ago, every time I traded a triangle, well, not every time, sorry, but the majority of the time that I traded a triangle, it was a losing trade. Right, and the odd time it was probably trading triangles, okay? And now I look at it in the inverse way, where I'm kind of counting triangle patterns, and I am a profitable trader now. So you can see, like, the basics are useful, but they're not useful in the way that you think they are. If you're starting to get into trading, right? Because those are the basics. It's too simple. Life isn't that simple, right? Life isn't about a breakout of a triangle and you're rich. Life isn't about that. It's just the damn right basics. I was a fool. I looked at the basics, okay, and I didn't get anywhere. I lost a load of money. I blew up 2 accounts by trading the basics. It's like with anything. You're never going to become sustainable at anything or really good at anything by just doing the basics. I remember when I was younger, I used to skateboard quite a lot, but I didn't actually really get anywhere with it because I didn't really try anything. I learned the basics of it and I kind of just stuck with the basics, and that's kind of why I never got anywhere with skateboarding. And it applies to trading, it applies to anything. I like to think that you can apply a lot of life skills to actually trading as well. Reddy, good to see you here. Good to see you, Reddy. How are you doing? Nice to see you back. We've been live for an hour and a half. Wow. Wow. Yeah, getting back to like trading this, okay, trading this here. You know, I've taken 4 trades this week. All of them have been successful trades, right? I understand though, if I take this trade here, okay, I'm not expecting this trade to win, okay? I know that the probabilities are high if I take this trade to come up to range high. So I know that the probability of me winning this trade is high, but I don't go into this trade expecting to win. I understand I've taken 4 profitable trades this week, but I could take a 5th trade and it could be a losing trade. So yeah, we confidence, this is another thing as well within trading. Never get overconfident. I'm never going to be overconfident here. I'm never going to say this has to win because it doesn't. Okay. I could get stopped out and this could be my first losing trade of the week. I think I missed a lot. Well, yeah, if you've just tuned in, I think, yeah, you've missed a lot of the live stream. But yeah, don't worry. You haven't missed everything, right? We're of course sitting here sort of waiting for the long entry. Yeah, I kind of want to see if I get it on stream, but I understand I've been live for an hour and a half and I can hear my dog barking at me from downstairs. So, I'm going to have to tend to him soon. I did take him on a walk before I came live, and yeah, of course, after his walk, he loves to have a nap. So he had a nap, and he's clearly just woken up because I can hear him. But yeah, again, right. All I'm looking for here is that failed auction. Okay, of course, we don't have a swing failure pattern now because we've taken it out. Let me just double check. We don't have any MPOCs now. Yeah, so of course, all we're looking for here is a failed auction. If I get that failed auction, I like the long. I like the long trade from there because I understand, right? We have, what was it, 18 million? 18 million shorts have come in here. Okay, if we form a failed auction, okay, and at this moment in time, the majority of those, we can actually zoom in and see. Yeah, so quite a lot of these shorts are underwater at this moment in time. Yeah, so the majority actually of the shorts are underwater at this moment in time. We formed the failed auction. Pretty much all of the shorts are going to be underwater. And then for me, they're trap longs. They're going to most likely have to cover, meaning they have to buy into the market, which adds fuel to the fire and pushes the price higher initially, right? I'll give it 8 minutes, right? I'll give it 8 minutes. Let's see. Of course, if you've got any questions, remember, don't be afraid to ask. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you haven't already, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. Really helps me out, really helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring these live streams to you. And also subscribe if you're new as well. What was the risk of your last trade? So the risk to reward, starting off with the risk to reward, it was a 1 to 1.97. So pretty much a 1 to 2, right? Pretty much a 1 to 2 risk to reward, which is a good risk to reward ratio. But then how much I was willing to lose on that trade, it was $700. Okay. So if that trade got stopped out, I would have lost $700. That's how much, what was it? Oh, it was $500. Sorry. It was $500 if I lost that trade. Okay, and then yeah, I took a TP1 here. That was, yeah. Let me just go to it and have a look. That'll be easier. So that was $72 in a profit. I moved the stop loss to entry just because I wanted it to be a risk-free trade. I did leave my smaller trade open on my other accounts. I didn't move the stop loss to entry, but I have to admit it's not the biggest trade. I've closed the majority of it now, but that trade in the end was $250 in a profit at the end. So you can see, on my bigger account, I made more profit on the TP1 than I did on the smaller account. But you have to remember here, right? You can zoom up and, some of these trades are much bigger, right? But I'm trading with a lower capital in this range here because it's very tight. I know there's a bit more risk, okay? So yeah, here I was willing to lose $500. Okay, because you can see the invalidation is quite big. It's a 1.2%. Here I was willing to risk, a very small amount. Here I was willing to risk about $200 because you can see the stop loss was 0.42%, right? And then here, 0.47%. So here my risk is a lot less than here. I understand that yes, there's a big high, sorry, a big invalidation here. But yeah, I understood, right? I was waiting for all my confirmation. As you can see, it played out really nicely. Eric, you remember me from 2 years ago on another channel. That's amazing. Yeah, Satoshi Society. So I was on another channel there. And yeah, back then, I have to admit, I wasn't I wouldn't say I was a consistently profitable trader. Like at that time, I was full time, but I was very, very emotional. And yeah, I still had some really good trades. And to be honest, like yeah, I wasn't as successful in trading as I was now. But now you're killing it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You're probably the best on YouTube. Oh yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. But thank you though. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I know that there are some really good traders on YouTube. I do understand that. Not everyone is completely useless on YouTube. Jason Casper, he is someone that I used to watch quite a lot. You've got Chart Champions. I know that they're very good as well. Who else? Who else? There's another guy as well. There's another guy as well who Toro Crypto. I haven't watched him. I haven't watched any of these channels in quite a while. But I used to watch them quite a lot because they kind of use the similar strategies that I look for as well. Okay, um, I look at them, and a lot of them use order flow, and I can instantly understand that they have a good knowledge, a good understanding of the markets. And 2 years ago, when I was working for Satoshi Society, I didn't have a good understanding of the markets because I wasn't using order flow. I had a really good this that was a time where I was really growing. I look back on that, and I was, as a trader, I was actually really, really growing because I was looking at volume, right? I was looking at fixed ranges. Fixed ranges are amazing, right? Let's just pull a fixed range here. Fixed range are just amazing, right? Look at that. Okay, you're looking for shorts up here, you're looking for longs down here. They are absolutely amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. Um, but yeah, it wasn't until I started using order flow that it really clicked and I really understood how the markets moved. But yeah, even just using fixed range, I had some really profitable trades 2 years ago, even just trading the fixed range here. But yeah, ever since I kind of I moved away from there because it was yeah, I didn't feel like it was something that I wanted to do because it was more entertainment, right? That's sort of the direction because it wasn't just me on that channel, but it was more entertainment. And I look at what are they called, Crypto Banter. They're a very good YouTube channel, but it's a lot of entertainment for me. And I didn't want to go down that route. I wanted to go down like educational. I wanted to be focused on education, right? Educate people about this because I didn't really have any, when I first started getting into trading, I didn't know anybody who would teach any of this stuff, who would like explain any of this stuff, and who would prove any of this stuff as well. Like I show proof of myself actually trading. It's all in the Discord, right? I share everything in there. How were you able to control your emotions? Easiest thing in the world. Okay, controlling the. Well, I say it's the easiest thing. It is hard, I understand, but it's one simple thing. Okay, go into your bank account, withdraw an amount of money that you are willing to lose. Okay, get a lighter and set that note on fire. However much it is, set it on fire. And if you're not upset after doing that, then that's how much and then that's how you control emotion, okay? And that's how you trade, okay? So I put money into trades that I don't care about losing, okay? If I'm here, I was willing to risk about $500 on this trade, okay? So I don't have emotion in that trade because I am not scared about losing $500. Okay, 2 years ago I would have been scared about losing $500, but I'm not scared about losing $500. That's how I manage my risk. And let me just I just need to I'm gonna take a long trade here actually. Let me just open this long trade here. Right, I'm in a long trade here. I'm just going to open it on my second account as well. I'll show you the long trade in 2 secs, sorry. I can hear my dog is really whinging downstairs. He really wants my attention. Right, this is kind of the stress levels that I go through, trying to put it in the Discord as well, right? This is how I go. Oh no, my mouse isn't working, is it? No. Come on, can I? There we go. Has that worked? Yes, it has. Well, I just took the long trade. Sorry, I got a bit distracted, so I wasn't looking at the charts. There we go. On my second account as well. Well, I have entered with a little bit lower capital because it is a Friday evening. So, well, to be honest with you, I've been entering with all of these trades with a little bit, with lower capital than usual, to be honest. Just put my stop loss in. Right, I'm willing to risk 500 on that trade as well, because again, it's a little bit of a deep stop loss. Right, let's just see. Right, let me plug my other screen in, and then I can pull it up. Right, so I like this, right? We've got the failed auction of range low. Okay, failed auction of range low. And then we have 18 million longs at the low. Shorts at the low. Right, let's just pull that trade up here. Right, there's the trade. There's the trade, as you can see. So, yeah. I put my stop loss in, right? 66,686. Yeah, which is like the low here. Okay, that's where my stop is. And I am now in this long trade here. Trading the range until it breaks. Simple. Yeah. Make sure we can see the chart. There we go. Yeah, exactly that. And this is an aggressive entry, right? This is an aggressive entry. I understand that, but I consider myself a bit more of an aggressive trader. Again, right? I'm not coming into this trade expecting to win this trade, right? I understand I can get stopped out of this trade. But again, right, I've entered with capital that I'm not scared about losing. Okay, if I take a loss here, I lose $500. Okay, I'm not worried about losing $500. Okay, so for controlling, going back to how I was able to control my emotion, I would only put capital into a trade that I didn't care about. Okay, so if you get emotional when you light $200 on fire and it just disappears. Okay, if you get emotional, then you will get emotional losing $200 in a trade. But if you don't get emotional lighting a $50 note, or I don't know if you have $50 notes, but a £50 note in my case, right? If I took a £50 note and I lit it on fire and I had no emotion, okay, then I know that that is what I'm willing to risk in a trade, okay, meaning that if I lose that trade, it's not going to affect me, right? That's how I see emotion, okay? That's how I see emotion and get past emotion in trading, right? I understand that my strategy is good. I understand my risk management is good, okay? So those two things combined, are very important things to get you on the right tracks of becoming like a profitable trader, right? An hour and 50 minutes. I think this is my longest stream yet. I think this is my longest stream yet. I like we had this pullback here, okay? If this rise, like say we get this rise up to range high, if it is on a decrease of open interest, I wouldn't be surprised because remember, all these shorts here are probably going to have to cover, right? Meaning that they're buying back into the market. So initially you're expecting open interest to decrease. So yeah. But yeah, again, right? It's range trading, okay? TP1 here, TP2 here. That's my expectation, right? That is my expectation. I said I was going to give it 8 minutes. Was that? Yeah, that was. Yeah. Okay, I'll probably end it here. Right, I've entered into the trade. Okay, like my TPs. Right, I'm looking for mid range here. Okay, as that TP1, where I'll take probably 50% out. Maybe move the stop loss to entry. I might do what I did on this short trade here, where I move my stop loss to entry on my main account, and then I don't move my stop loss to entry on my smaller account, just because if we do see something that happened here where we come back to the entry and then we reject there, that's a possibility, right? So yeah, that's sort of my plan, right? So TP1 here, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, TP2 here, my stop loss is below the low here. So yeah, I'm just going to see how this plays out. But yeah, if you've got any more questions, put them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them quickly. And then I'm going to go off and just sort of relax now. It is Friday evening. We're coming into the weekend. So I'm going to enjoy my weekend. Hopefully you guys have a lovely weekend as well. Yeah, I'll give it a minute or two, see if there's any more questions. Because I don't. Oh, sorry, I just realised you can't actually see the trade. Was that up there the whole time? Sorry. There. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, but so Saturday, of course, tomorrow, Sunday, the day after. I don't do live streams on the weekend. That's I like to just kind of relax on the weekend, to be honest with you. But of course, for the visionary members, I will do, of course, the preparation for next week on the Sunday as well. Of course, no daily market update tomorrow, but then Sunday we have the preparation for next week. And then Monday, back to usual. Of course, live streaming every afternoon here in the UK anyway. And then daily market updates for the team as well. So yeah, again, if you want access to the Discord where I give all of my trades away, okay, first link in the description will take you over to this page here. You can gain access to that. Of course, we have the education, which I'm very close to finishing the Exocharts education, and then I've got the strategies that will take a bit of time to get done, but then they'll come out, and then I have the Exochart templates, the templates that I use as well for Exocharts. But yeah, I can't see see any more questions. Rednet, have a good weekend as well. Thanks for the alpha. Thank you very much for joining, Rednet. It's good to see new faces. I don't believe I've seen you here before. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, everybody else, Eric, good to see you here. Quite surprised that you used to watch. Well, not surprised, but yeah, it's quite amazing that you used to watch Satoshi Society. Yeah, thank you for watching. Reddy, good to see you back here as well. Thank you for watching. Mo, it was good to see you here as well. Good to see you back. And anybody else, I think that's everyone in the chat. Cool. Yeah, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I will look forward to, of course, seeing the team in the Discord. And yeah, anybody else, I will see you on Monday for that live stream. So yeah, for me right now, just sitting on this long trade now, TP1 at mid range. That's what I'm targeting, and then range high as well. I could get stopped out of this trade. I could take my first loss for the week. We'll see how that plays out though. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.